Ancient History Ncert Summary Class 6 Chapter 1 Part 1. Ancient people called gatherers, as they gathered their food, started living on banks of Narmada River for several 100,000 of years. They had deep know-how of forest, and collected roots, fruits and other forest produce for their food. Apart from this, they also hunted animals for food. Concept of village developed in Suleiman and Kirthar area around 8,000 years ago or 6,000 BC. People cultivated wheat and barley along with rearing of animals like sheep, goat and cattle. Agriculture was developed in Garo hills in northeast with rice first grown to north of Vindhyas. Smaller rivers that flow into a larger river are called tributaries. Indus had 5 tributaries: Jhelum, Chenab, Satluj, Ravi, Beas. Some of earliest cities were flourished on banks of these rivers about 4,700 years ago, i.e. 2,700 BC. About 2,500 years ago, cities developed on banks of Ganga and its tributaries. Som is main tributary of Ganga. Magdha was a big and powerful kingdom which developed south of the Ganga, now lying in the state of Bihar. An interesting question arises: why did people travel in ancient times? There can be multiple reasons, like in search of food and shelter, to save themselves from natural disasters like floods or droughts, for conquering the lands with help of armies, for business purposes. Merchants traveled with caravans or ships. Religious teachers traveled from place to place to offer instruction and advice. Some people might have traveled by a spirit of adventure, wanting to discover new and exciting places. All these movements helped in sharing of ideas and enrichment of cultural traditions. People also shared new ways of carving stone, composing music, and even cooking food over several hundreds of years. Important question is what is origin of name, Bharat, and India. India. This word comes from the Indus, which is called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Iranians and Greeks charged through northwest about 2,500 years ago. They were familiar with the Indus, called it the Hindus or the Indos. They called land to the east of the river as India. Bharat. This word was used for people mentioned in Rigveda and lived in the northwest. Rigveda was the earliest composition in Sanskrit, dated to about 3,500 years ago. We later used it for naming our country.